when I was doing this, so like I have this is like our template for like movement. And I still want to build out that like library of like things people could read. But the next few parts were like, what are the common faults and the cues? And I was like, wow, it's probably much better if we just talk about that part and come up with that list together. Hence the black paper or blank paper.
The black paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
But just a quick like refresher. Why do we do the front squat? And front squat can be used to improve absolute strength. So absolute strength is like the most strength you can do, right? Like it's not relative to body weight. Relative to body weight is relative strength, right? And so like we're just trying to get people as strong as possible. That's how you think of absolute strength. Muscular endurance is your ability to sustain lots of reps with good form, right? And the purpose of the front squat is to improve those things in the quads, glutes, hamstrings, which I didn't put for some reason, and then secondarily the upper back, adductors, I think are also primary. Secondary is also core, right? So anything that's stabilizing will be secondary. Anything that's a prime mover is a primary, right? Yeah. And so I always do think of the front squat as being a more quad dominant exercise because your chest position is going to be more upright, right? So when you're more upright, you're going to use more quads. When you're leaning forward more in the back squat, it's going to use the posterior chain, glutes, and hamstrings more. Right?
I thought of it too with like as the weights in the front.
Yeah, for sure. That's like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I always think of it as like cool. We're strengthening the front side of the body more, and it's not fully true because you're still using the glutes and hamstrings, but it is more so that than a back squat, right? And you could also you could program it on a cycle during a cycle to focus on strength. It's also strength that's transferable to cleans. It can be used for a squat pattern in the Metcon. So when I'm looking at the week and I'm like, cool, we're gonna do some squats on Thursday because Thursday people need to squat this week. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, let's do a front squat. We haven't done a front squat in Metcon in a while, right? And could be used as an accessory lift to improve back squat form and position as well. Because sometimes people have the problem of going down too far in the back squat. They just don't have really good core control and body awareness. And so spending a cycle working on that will actually transfer over to the back squat. And in CrossFit, it's one of the foundational movements because it's a starting point for clean proficiency, right? So you're never going to clean more than you can front squat. So sometimes if you want to improve your clean, you should front squat, right? And with that, you can also think of it as an overhead squat and snatch proficiency movement. Even though the overhead squat is a foundational CrossFit movement, the upright torso demands are even more so in the overhead squat. So if you're looking for a place to start with someone, you might start with the front squat before going into the overhead squat, and definitely before a snatch, right?
If someone has like a lower back or lower back pain, because I thought I read something about this when we first did the front squats that like it can be a good movement for someone with back pain.
It can. So just thinking about like where the weight is, like you said earlier. Like if it's on the back, it's gonna be it's on the back. Right?
Yeah.
It's on the front. It's on the front. Yeah, your core is gonna contribute a lot more, be a little bit less on the back, right? A little bit less loading on the spine. So yeah, it is a better choice just for rebuilding that core and developing strength there. And yeah, another thing. So I'll tell you guys like one of the things I learned last year in a programming mentorship I did was just like if you're programming out a full body day for people, so you're using all the movement patterns, or if you're doing a day like in CrossFit, I think this is more common in group classes. Like Monday we might do front squats and pull-ups, and then Tuesday we might do bench press and let's say deadlifts, right? And so that's a squat and a pull on Monday, and a hinge and a push on Tuesday. And that'd be a really balanced 2 days, right? Because I hit all the parts of the body, right? However, if I did a back squat on Monday, then doing a back squat on Tuesday while still being a squat and a hinge and still being quote unquote balanced. What we talked about earlier, back squat uses the back side of the body. The back squat also loads the back more. The deadlift uses the back side of the body. The deadlift loads the back more. So then, will people be fine? Will they get injured? Will they be overstressed? More than likely they'll be fine, but if you did that every week for 8 to 10 weeks, right, that could impart too much stress, that could cause some issues, right, back pain or imbalance or just being weaker in the area, not necessarily injury, but it's not the best way to program that. So that's one of the considerations, like front squat into like a deadlift, nice, right?
Okay.
So
some people, I had a friend who did like a 30-day squat challenge, or on a squat for 30 straight days, and yeah, I was like, is there benefits to doing this? I mean, you're getting stronger on one thing, but you're kind of overusing the body.
yeah, and I think
like body parts.
it's so like I talked in my last couple community emails about individuality and specificity. So individuality states that everyone responds to exercise different. So one person doing that might be fine. They might like be either their activity history is like they have high muscular endurance and aerobic ability, so they recover really well from it. It's really not hard for them at all. Like they're just a person that can do a lot of reps and like nothing. There might be another person who does that and their back goes out,
Yeah.
like because their muscles get tight. They're really deconditioned, right? Like you don't know. So yeah, I hesitate to ever judge too harshly on that because it really just depends on the person and what they're experiencing. I'm in the camp of more movement overall is better for people until it doesn't serve them. If it doesn't serve them, what I mean by that is like overall it's good to move more and not I'd be like, oh, you shouldn't do that because you're gonna get hurt because you're doing too much, like not discourage people. However, if they start to experience pain, then you go like, okay, well, let's think about why that happened. Let's see if we can retrace the steps. Let's test stuff. Cool, let's try this and see if that balances you out, right? That's how I kind of think of it. Yeah, okay. And yeah, the muscles work. I guess I put the hamstrings down there. The upper back muscles are secondary. Like I said, trapezius, rhomboids, lats, core. Just think about holding that front rack. That front rack is a lot of shoulder stability, a lot of like that it's hard, right? So you're gonna fatigue. A lot of postural endurance, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And lats, core as well, right? The lats have to be engaged and stable. They have to be stretched out enough for you to front rack. Ton of core, right? And the points of performance, I did not copy CrossFit, so just wrote my own. So we started with stance and grip. So squat stance, bar sits on shoulders, front rack, right? And then hips descend back and down, torso remains upright. There's one caveat to that, and that caveat is the person with a long torso and long femurs, which I think that might be you, Stephen, so we might get to see what that looks like today. That's gonna be more forward, but how do we know if a person is too far forward or if they are the right amount forward for them? You guys know?
The shoulder in line with the middle of the foot.
Yeah, technically I think it's the bar in line with the middle of the foot, but yeah. Which bar is sitting on the shoulder, so that makes sense.
So it should be close,
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's interesting because it's the same in a back squat. The difference is the body organizes differently. So like the back squat's gonna be more leaning forward because of where the bar is. And then the front squat's gonna be more upright because of where the bar is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So it'll be more upright, even in a tall person, it'll be more upright compared to their back squat, but it won't be as upright as a shorter person.
Okay.
Because a shorter person's gonna be able to be like, yeah, this is easy. I don't get what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Tall person's gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing I've ever done. Right?
Sounds just like me.
Yeah.
So just like pretty good.
That sounds good. Did you feel in your heart right there?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Especially the last 2 months.
And then, so of course, CrossFit, we go hip crease below parallel, and we return up to standing, right? And then, you know, what was said in Slack was we really wanted to talk about, I need a camera person, I like a little drone or something.
I know, maybe you just need like the tripod. Just Go full influencer.
I had a tripod. I had one. I think I still have one of the like it follows you. It's kind of weird.
Whoa, fancy.
Yeah, but I need like a little drum that just slides on. That's a feature. I looked it up actually.
That's
I
a
think
thing.
it was like $500. Like we're not there yet, but one day.
It needs to be quiet too, because they're still, even though they're quiet, you still hear like
Yeah.
my neighbor was just messing with one of their house yesterday.
Cool.
My dog was freaking out.
Well, so yeah, we want to talk about the faults, and then once we figure out the faults, we can figure out the cues, and that's the fun part, right?
Yeah.
So this is the blank paper part. What are the common faults?
Also, just if we could also throw it in there maybe to I've been trying to find a drill that like keeping the chest and elbows up, and if we could come up with a solid drill to do that. I tried to do on Wednesday the in the hole drill. You guys know what that one is?
No, what is it?
So you put the rack things lower, and people start from the bottom
up.
and explode up.
Yeah.
So their elbows already set, so they get to feel how it is. But if without the part that people fault on is like the descent. So I mean, it helped people realize where they should be going up, but it didn't correct.
That's also called the Anderson squat. Is coming out of the bottom, going up. Yeah.
And the whole Anderson's what I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so that's common fault, yeah, right, like the elbows.
Or yeah, just I'm trying to figure out like what would be a good like drill to do it. I mean, you can do the standard drilling, but I mean just.
What's the standard drilling?
Or not standard. There is no standard really for it, but just here's the form. You know, here's the cues, or here's the technique. Here are the bullet points.
Why do the elbows fall?
Elbows usually fall. Maybe I would probably say because the lats aren't warmed up or activated. Also, there could be some ankle instability. Also, some.
Maybe the cord a little bit. Let go of the cord. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, let's go in order, because that's the first part. Let's identify the faults, and that's one we'll focus on for the drill. What else? What else are? Yeah, we'll get
rounding upper back, rounding shoulders.
Rounding.
I mean, I don't know if I really see that. I've only been coaching like Hung, Kelly, and like, they have pretty good form, so it's been fine.
Do you mean?
I guess it is when the shoulders come down, but yeah, like I guess I don't see it too much. But I meant like the upper back.
Okay, so is it a dropping, or is it a? It's good. That's why we're doing this. So when you just did that,
Just like dropping it.
yeah, was it like a?
More core.
Well, is that what you're talking about? Is what I'm trying to ask. Like,
Yeah.
is it less? Because you're not talking, because this isn't rounding. You're talking
You're
about
right.
this.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of the same thing. So lack of like thoracic extension.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's the best example would be Alma, and I try to utilize my Spanish cues as best I can. But yeah, she's probably the biggest perpetrator when Alma does it. So Alma gets it, and then she just goes down, and then it always ends up like that. And then coach's eye opportunity. So you can't see yourself. Well, actually, that's not true. Well, yeah, the back, yeah. I mean, that's the funny thing, is there's so many places where this could go wrong.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen, can you do that again?
Demo.
Go sideways for me.
I guess this is my Alma, or how she usually does it, but she gets in there, and she goes down, that part's fine, and then it always ends up like this, and then just to get back in position, going up like that.
Okay.
Is it the illusion that you think you're going down, but just your head's going up? Hello.
So, let's see. So when you look at someone, when you're looking to try to figure out where the fault is, because that's the hard part, is like, there's so many areas, we haven't hit all of them, that you can look all over the place and you're gonna see elbows drop, and like, well, if you see the elbows drop, what's the instinctive thing to think? Intuitively, the elbows drop. What do you say?
Elbows up.
Elbows up.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna teach you how to orient your eyes. So look at feet, knees, hips, shoulders, or shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. That's how you look, is you look in a straight line, you don't just look in general. Once you orient your eyes, see if you could see where the fault is. So let me ask you this. First question
Shoulders
is,
way out there.
well, let me ask you this. Do the elbows drop? Do the elbows drop from
Not
the
the
shoulders?
no.
You see that?
Yeah, so they drop at the end.
Their torsos going forward.
So at the hips, right? But
Yeah.
look at that's in the same position. Your elbows are locked in. Do you see that?
Yeah. She ends
Is
up
that,
like
is that how
that.
their elbows look? Like they
Or-
stay in the same spot, they're just going.
I mean, it's
They
fine.
just point down.
Yeah, they point down, but look at in a downmost position right there. So look at how you start off. You can look at this as a point. So shoulder to elbow is maintained. Now look at the bottommost point. So the bottommost point, shoulder to elbow is maintained. Like if you look at it this way,
Well, it actually is.
that
yeah.
never dropped.
Yeah.
Right? What did drop is your torso. Your
Yeah.
chest, if you look hip to shoulder, your chest is pointing at the ground. When we start off in a good position, you're more vertical, right?
It's probably
Slightly
hips.
forward. Yeah. Yes, it could be hips, could be core, right? Could be ankle, right? We don't know because
Yeah.
if the ankle doesn't move forward, then the way you keep going is like this, right? So if I don't have good dorsiflexion, then I will lean forward to compensate for that. So we don't actually know, right? And so
Okay.
that's why there's a hard balance between, and that's why this is CrossFit Novato is supposed to be personal training in a group setting, is no amount of elbows up is going to help the person that does it that way,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So the drilling won't necessarily help that way. How could you drill? Because that's the other thing is like we balance out personal training in a group setting with leading a great group experience. And so how do you do that if you're like, cool guys, we're gonna drill the front squat? Well, I'll tell you what, Alma, or Stephen Alma in that video, did a really good job of keeping the elbows up until about here, right? So what you do is you have that person drill to about where?
To where they break.
Yeah.
Where they're going.
So one thing I like to do for front squat drilling, and we'll go back to drilling, I guess, before we go back to the phones. It's okay, we move around. Is I like to have my class, cool, find the front rack. Okay, we're gonna practice. First, let me see that front rack, make sure it looks good. Everyone's holding it. The cool thing, like, it is really awkward at first as a coach to make people hold positions because
Yeah.
you feel like, they're gonna hit me, or they get really uncomfortable, they come out of it, right? I am known now, I make it a point to tell my classes, you guys know I'm gonna make you hold this, right? Like, bottom of the deadlift, like, I know it sucks, I've done it before, like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that it's actually good for them because, like, one of the best things for improving position is isometrics, eccentrics, like the slow movements, the holds, like that's really good for holding, for helping people improve positional and body awareness, right?
Yeah.
And strength. It's good for the joints. It's good for so much of the body, right? So that's one thing I kind of realized because, like, in some of my coaching courses, we're like, yeah, isometrics, holds, tempo. And in CrossFit, I never like learned that stuff from like the level 1 or anything, right? But I was like, oh crap, that's what the really good CrossFit coaches are doing without thinking about it. Without thinking about it, if you're drilling during the skill portion before we start the workout, making people hold, cool, we're gonna go up and down on my count. Ready? Up, down, right? Like you might go like, cool, we're gonna go slow, we're gonna go fast, right? You get to do a lot of that stuff without going, all right guys, we're gonna do 10 reps at a 3-second down, 3-second hold. Sometimes we do that, but like you do that without them thinking about it there, right? Anyhow, so my favorite drill for that, first find the front rack and check everyone's front rack.
With or without that, I usually start off without the, just grab your shirt.
Well, you can, I mean, yeah, that's up to you. That's like your flair, your art, right? You do that. That's a good start. Yeah, for like, but once you do that, let's say you do that, then you go into the bar, then you check the bar, right? Make sure the bar is good. Adjust, right? Hey, get those up a little higher. And some people be like, I can't. Cool, like, where does it feel tight? Like, maybe not during the drilling, but like you might go, you can ask them real quick. Like, it depends how like for me, I can ask people questions and give them like something to do. Like I could be like, let's say we have 10 people here and we're in that front rack position. I might be like, Steven, get your elbows up. And you'd be like, I can't. Be like, okay, cool. Like, where does it feel tight? And they'd be like, oh, my wrist. And be like, okay, I'll come back and talk to you. It's probably not the wrist. We might be like right, like my lats. Cool. Like, keep that in your pocket. And then when you break people and you go have them start building, and you go, hey, Steven, I'm gonna have you do this lat stretch, right?
Patrick's here too.
Patrick's here too. Yeah.
Oh my
He's here to
goodness.
partner with Elliot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're gonna crush everyone.
I saw the cue of saying forward, elbows forward instead of
That can help.
How do you feel about that one?
If it works, it works.
Okay.
I think, like I always say before, you know,
Because
when
you hear it up so much, and I was like, that's annoying.
Yeah,
the same questions come up with cueing a lot.
Yeah.
Like I want to learn cues, and it always makes me like laugh inside, not in like a making fun, condescending way, but like in a meanest, playful way.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if you say purple starfish and if
Just
it's a
whatever
different
makes the
spot
person,
position.
yeah.
Yeah, like it
Just
really
each
doesn't
person has a
matter
different thing,
as long as it works. And what's really fun, one of my favorite things is like you'll be like elbows up, and like someone might be like, oh, you mean lean back and have your chest up?
Right.
And like, yes, right? Like they say it in their own language,
Yeah.
right? And that's the best. It's like when they teach you their cue, that works for them. And then next time you go up to that person,
Yeah,
you go, yeah, lean back with your chest up. Like, so, anyways, there is no right or wrong cue, and that's why like, yeah, we should have time to do this exercise real fast. So back to the drill. So front rack, then you go, cool, everyone, we're gonna core squat, it looks like this. You're gonna hold in that bottom position for me. Ready, down, hold, Alma, keep those things up, feel a stretch right here. I like to tell people what to feel, right? Telling them what to feel helps. So they go down, up a few times, you're satisfied with that, cool. Next we're gonna go a little bit lower, we're gonna go half squat. You see if they can maintain that, right? Alma can't maintain past the half squat. Maybe you're like, hey Alma, you're gonna stay up, you're gonna do the quarter squat. Once you go to half squat, it drops too much, let's just focus on that. Cool, everyone else, we're gonna go down full squat. You're gonna hold at the bottom, ready, go. Alma's up here, everyone else is down there. We still have that good position, right? And then, all right, you guys, now we're gonna do the full thing. I want those elbows to look just like that. You guys were all able to do it, let's do it, right? And then you go.
Would you tell her to still do the quarter?
Yeah, and then you know that like for the day, you know for the day, she's gonna need a target, or she's gonna need to switch over to like a goblet squat, which is okay too. Alma's been here a while, she probably, but honestly, that's a big mistake I see coaches and people making, and I've made before, is we're in a rush to have people do the fun and sexy movement because everyone else is doing it, and it may not be the best thing for the person that day, that moment. And one thing is like, how do you address when they feel like, oh man, I can't do what everyone else is doing, I'm not good enough? You go, hey, like this is not forever, this is just for today or for a couple weeks, right? Like I wanna see you get better at this before we go to that, and then you're gonna do so much more. Because they might always front squat and never have a lot of weight on that bar and never get more than a quarter squat if they use the bar. But if you have them go to a target and you have them use a goblet squat, or you have them do dumbbells for a couple weeks until they have that positional awareness and their hips open up a little bit, then the next time they front squat, they're gonna actually be able to put some weight on the bar. So like that's also part of the value of being able to coach the same class every week is you see the same people, and that's how you progress them, right? Not about having them do a front squat with an empty bar. It's about trying to get them to do a front squat with a loaded bar, but maybe using a dumbbell or a kettlebell to get them there in a couple weeks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes if you have like really strong people like Rob, his elbows drop a little bit too.
Yeah.
And Ryan has like some ankle mobility, but
Ankles,
he's
yeah.
like, so he could put so much weight on there though, him and Rob, and it's like, all right, well, I know how much weight you could do, but I'm trying to help you get up there, but you're still able to put up massive amounts of weight.
So what would success look like for them? Like, so again, thinking about the parts of the front squat, what are they able to maintain that like would be good for them to work on for a couple weeks? Because they could probably do some weight, right? And another thing is like, here's one thing you do run into. You will run into someone like, I don't know if Ryan's ankle is going to be something that is fixable in a group class, or if it's fixable even with personal training for a while. So it's like really locked in, right? So like for him, he is wearing lifters now. How do the lifters help?
It was better this week.
Yeah.
Form-wise, I mean, it was just more of a slight break more at the bottom, but it wasn't as evident as before.
So it may not be the ankles then, it might just be form. So then maybe it's just like either reducing the load and seeing if you could do it with less weight. And if you could do it with less weight, then you try to have him only go up to where he can maintain that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You gotta see, you gotta be like, okay, you know what? Like, can I see one set with just like one pair of 45s on there? Oh, like, oh yeah, you can do it. Cool. I don't want you to add more weight than you can maintain that. Right? I know like you're trying to get stronger, but like this is like for your long-term development, right? Like you find a way to explain that and connect it to his goal. You might have to like connect them more and like if you're not sure, like I wouldn't just say that. I'd be like, hey Ryan, so like remind me what your goals are. Like, oh, I want to get stronger for life. Like I just want to be able to cool. Like so with that in mind, I really want you to work on your front squat positioning for him, right? And so like I want you let's see what it looks like at a lighter load. Oh dude, it's like perfect. How can we maintain that and like build up? Like let's try building up a little bit at a time. Maybe have them do more reps that day, maybe have them do a tempo. Like you guys get to decide, right? The board says what the board says, but it's all about giving a person what they need that day based on their goals and where they are currently. Right?
I have questions. But do you want to do a drill?
No, that's fine. I think we covered the drill. That was the drill. It's just doing parts of it.
Oh, that drill.
What are
Okay.
your questions?
My questions are like for someone like for all these people, like is it beneficial to add that into the warm up of having them do an ankle mobility stretch?
Yes,
Or, like,
if you know.
like John had me put a band around my ankle and like
Yeah.
go out and do that.
Yeah, that's an ankle dorsiflexion stretch.
Or lay down and put them tinier, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know what the person needs specifically, then like, and it doesn't take you long to tell them, just tell them, you can have them go off and do something else while the class is, you know, if you have big class, but you know Sam needs to stretch his ankles every time we squat, you go,
Yeah.
alright Sam, go do that stretch we talked about last week, right?
Yeah. Then the other thing, like I know you have some of those plates or the board, or like, is that beneficial for? I don't know. I guess first step would be like having her use the kettlebell
So-
or something else, and then yeah, could you move to something like that?
Not necessarily a first step, right? So like that might be good. So someone with locked ankles, the plate is gonna act like weightlifting shoes. That's gonna take
Yeah.
away the ankle dorsiflexion requirement, and that might actually help stretch them out. So really, it's just person dependent. And part of how we move from like talking about this
Yeah.
and like oh that's cool to like you feel confident in using it.
Yeah.
Just trying stuff. You gotta try
Just trying
stuff.
it out, yeah.
And you'll learn. You'll be like, yeah, for this person, this was the good first step, but for that person, that was a better first step,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do the plate elevation, would you use two separate plates or one? Because one is too narrow.
Depends on the person. Yeah. So this will be more of a cyclist. That
Right.
will be more regular. Yeah,
Cheers.
it's like a smaller. Like, depends on the person.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Just curious.
All right. Good.
Yeah, I just have, my biggest one is trying to fix, like, there's certain members that we have, I would give Alan as an example, super flexible, but I can't get his elbows up. Yeah.
He's got frozen shoulder and really, really bad wrist mobility. And so for him, he's been doing this a lot.
Yeah. So
When
that's,
he's doing that, you should make him do
okay,
that.
so yeah, when he does do that,
Yeah, again, it's either gonna take a shit ton of personal training and dedicated time and effort, which some people either wanna do or don't wanna do. And it's okay, but if not, what does this look like for them? And that's how we're able to work with people with disabilities and wheelchairs, is like, what does this look like for them? And so if they want to change it, is it important for you to change it? Cool, there's a path for that. It's expensive and very time consuming path. But there is a path, but it's important enough. If it's not important enough for you, then we do the best we can with what we have, right? And that for him might be the best.
okay.
Yeah, switch on the position.
But he's got to understand, and that might matter to him, it doesn't transfer to his clean, right? Because this
Yeah, because the cleans, even when it's
transfers
clean,
positionally, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the cleans are coming up, then the elbow goes up afterwards, which is about the wrist.
Did that help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys send me messages if you guys have more questions. Keep asking.